Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Dr. Russell Sharp, and I recently did a podcast about ICL. They manufacture fertilizers for sports turf, hydroponics, for horticulture in general, and in agriculture. And I said that they were involved in war crimes in Gaza through the supply of white phosphorus to the Israeli military. And Vincent Bruges, managing director of ICL, has been in contact to clarify and counter any claims. And I did say, more than interested to debate and that you provide any information. So I'll do a follow-up episode. And this is that follow-up episode. So ICL Fertilizers have been in touch. Also known, if you didn't listen to the episode, they're previously known as Israel Chemicals Limited, hence ICL. So they were a company started in Israel and still heavily involved in Israel. And yes, Vincent's points, he clarified that they don't actually manufacture white phosphorus. There's certainly no evidence that they do this, and there's certainly no evidence that they supply it directly to the Israeli military. But the situation is far more nuanced than that, unfortunately. And Vincent's fifth point was actually incorrect. So he's saying that my claim was false, and they do not provide white phosphorus to the Israeli military or anyone else. But there is a US Army document showing that ICL purchase white phosphorus and supply it to the US Army. They actually bizarrely buy it off Monsanto, or Bayer as it's known now. God knows why Bayer bought Monsanto, because they were up to all sorts of terrible PR stunts. This one of the least bizarre, terrible PR stunts that Monsanto were up to. So ICL supply it to the US Army, and we know through the casings found in Lebanon and elsewhere, in wherever Israel has been illegally using white phosphorus on civilian populations, that the Israeli military are using American white phosphorus munitions. So Monsanto manufacture it, ICL buy it off Monsanto, or Bayer as it is now, supply it to the US Army provides it to Israel, Israel drops it on Gaza and Lebanon. So those are undoubted. So ICL are involved in this supply chain. So I'm happy to clarify there is no evidence that ICL manufacture it. And thanks to Vincent for spurring me on to find this and clarify it. And a couple of other interesting topics that need to be aware of in my research found that ICL sponsor a battalion of the IDF, the Israel Defense Force, the Desert Reconnaissance Battalion, also known as the Gaza 585. Now, if that's not true, let me know. So they are involved funding the IDF, and so they're involved in that way, in what's going on in Gaza. And there is a video online of a member of the Gaza 585 burning greenhouses in Rafah to take really cool photos. I'm pretty certain that's considered a war crime, burning down food production for civilian populations. And so not a good look for a fertilizer company, a global fertilizer company with, a mission statement such as ICL's, to be burning down greenhouses in Rafah. So ICL is linked to the Gaza 585 battalion, there's a video of one of their soldiers, or more than one of their soldiers, at least. How many soldiers does it take to burn down? At least one to film it and one to stand in front of it, making themselves look good. So that was last year. They were filmed doing that. And then there's also the fact that 15% of the ICL workforce in Israel serve in the Israeli military. So that is a very high proportion, and ICL are linked to the Israeli military in that way. If they would like to come back and counter that, if you work for ICL, you've got to live with that fact that they supply white phosphorus to the US military, who then supply it to the Israeli military, and that the profits from ICL fertilizers in some way goes to the Israeli military, especially the Gaza 585 battalion, who are burning down greenhouses. So, Vincent, let me know, and more than happy to clarify. I'll take down the other episodes because it is factually incorrect. I did say they manufacture white phosphorus, and I haven't got evidence for that. So, happy to do that. And as I say, I'm not taking sides in this conflict. I think both sides are doing terrible things that are horrendous, and the use of white phosphorus and the burning down of greenhouses is horrendous, as is getting on a bus and shooting a load of people, innocent civilians, dead. That's been Hydroponics Daily, Serial Killers, Grass Me Up for today, and hopefully a more cheering episode next time, unless Vincent gets in touch and says I've got something wrong again. Luckily with ChatGPT, I can research all the Hebrew websites and other areas of the website that you wouldn't normally get, the web that you wouldn't normally get to with Google. So thank you, ChatGPT, for finding that one. All right, until tomorrow, thank you very much. Goodbye.